We're going to talk about mixed numbers in this video and different types of fractions. This is called a mixed number. Now, a mixed number combines a whole number and a proper fraction. So it's combining two separate things. Now, I learn best visually, and so I'm going to create two shapes and try to make them identical. This represents the whole portion of this mixed number. Now I'm going to create a third figure that's the same size as the previous two, and I need to properly identify what the proper fraction 1/3 would look like. So in this third figure, I want to try to create 3 equal portions. And I want to shade one of the 3. So if I go like this, and maybe I can use a pen, it shows it better. So I'm going to completely shade 2 whole portions. And now the proper fraction will be identified as only shading one of the 3. Here's 2 and 1/3. Next, I have 4 and 1/2. 4 is the whole number. I want to complete 4 equal shapes, and then I want to do an additional shape, but only shade in one of 2 parts. So this is the whole portion, and this is the proper fraction. So again, we could start by maybe making a figure that looks like this. And as you can see throughout this video, I'm not very good at drawing, but my attempt here is to create 4 shapes. Now, that represents the 4 whole portions. This proper fraction will be the same size as the previous 4. And in this final shape, I'm going to create, just like up here I did 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to create 2 equal shapes. And I'm only going to shade in one of the 2. It doesn't matter which of the 2 you shade. So this is the 1/2, the proper fraction, and then each one of these whole portions I'm going to completely shade in. 4 and 1/2. 4 and 1/2. If fractions scare you, don't worry, you're not alone. I teach high school students, and many of them, when they see fractions, start to feel nervous. I want you to try to create an illustration that represents 3 and 1/4. And when I begin this with students that may be in 8th or 9th grade, the first question they often ask me is, what shape am I supposed to create? It does not matter. Remember, you're going to have 3 whole portions, and then your additional portion will only be 1/4 shaded. So I would like you to press pause in this video, and then come back and press play once you're done. So I'm going to show you how you could do circles, you could do squares. So here we go. I'm going to do 3 whole portions. So 1, 2, 3. I want to do these 3. And now this proper fraction, I need to create 4 equal parts. And I'm going to shade in one of the 4. That's the proper fraction. And then here's the whole. 3 and 1/4, or I could do it down here. Create 4 equal portions in this last shape and shade in one of the 4. It doesn't matter which one of the 4 you shade. Here are the 3 wholes and the 1/4. So far in this video, we have discussed mixed numbers, and I've shared with you how a mixed number is composed or is made up of 2 parts, the whole portion and then this proper fraction, whole proper fraction, whole proper fraction, whole proper fraction. Well, now I'm going to introduce a new type of fraction, but before I do that, what I want you to look at is that proper fractions always have a smaller number on top of a larger number every single time. 1 is smaller than 3, 1 is smaller than 2, 1 is smaller than 4. Now you may say, does it always have to be a 1 on top? It doesn't. 2 is smaller than 3. 5 is smaller than 7. 9 is smaller than 13. Each one of these also represents a proper fraction. Okay, let's review. So whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Proper fractions, again, are when we have a division sign in the middle, and there's a number on top and a number on the bottom. And the only rule about a proper fraction is the number on top, that's called the numerator, has to always be smaller than the bottom number called the denominator. So 2 over 5, as long as the top number is smaller than the bottom, you just created a proper fraction. I'll show another one. 11 over 20, as long as the top number is smaller than the bottom, it's a proper fraction. Let's do one more. We could have 2 over 7. As long as the top number is smaller than the bottom, it's called a proper fraction. Now, an improper fraction, the rules are just opposite. So again, we're going to have that division sign in the middle, but now an improper fraction says the number on top, that's called the numerator, it's kind of a big word, the number on top has to be larger than the number on the bottom. So I'm going to come over here just as a little review, and I'm just going to write small and large as just a review. And then improper has the larger number on top and the smaller number on the bottom. So I can literally just flip these. 5 over 2, 20 over 11, 7 over 2, and now I have an improper fraction. So how does all of this relate into this lesson? Remember, a mixed number is composed of two things: a whole number combined with a proper fraction. So I could just make this up. It could be 1 and 2/5, or it could be 2 and 11/20. It could be 3 and 2/7. A mixed number is composed of a whole number and a proper fraction. Now, how does all of this combine with a improper fraction? Well, in this lesson, I'm going to show you how we can take an improper fraction and then turn it back into a mixed number. So I'm going to show you how the two are related, and that's next. We're going to start off with one that's a lot easier, and you're just watching this. I, again, am a visual learner. And so this is an improper fraction. How do I know that? Because the number on top, called the numerator, is larger than the number on the bottom, called the denominator. So if I was going to draw a picture, because that's how I learn best, I would start by creating shapes that have two equal parts in them. So let's go with a circle. And then I'm going to start shading, and I'm going to keep drawing the same shape until I'm able to shade in 5 parts. So here we go. You ready? I'm just going to do tally marks to count. So shade and shade. So I've shaded 2. Okay, I got to keep going. I'm drawing this exact same shape again. Now, how many parts do I have? That bottom number tells you how many equal parts you want to draw. So there's 2 equal parts. And I need to go all the way up to 5. So shade and shade. Okay, I did 2 more. So now I'm up to 7, or I'm up to 4, excuse me, but I need to get up to 5. So I draw this exact same shape. Again, it has 2 equal parts to it. And I only want to go up to shading 5 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now when I shade the last part, it doesn't matter if it's the top or the bottom. What matters is that we're only shading 1. I've shaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've shaded 5 parts, and each one of my shapes has 2 equal parts to it. This is an example of the improper fraction 5/2. Now, what I want you to see is that most of us like to write this as a mixed number. How do we write it? There's 2 whole parts shaded, and then I have this improper fraction, I have this proper fraction in which only one of the 2 parts is shaded. 2 whole parts, done, and then this part is not completely shaded, only one of the 2 parts is shaded. This is the proper fraction. 2 and 1/2 is equivalent or equal to the improper fraction 5/2. Let's show another example. Seven divided by 3. You may hear it read as 7/3. This is an example of an improper fraction because the number on top is larger than the number on the bottom. So I'm going to visually draw this. Okay, so I need to create a shape. Doesn't matter what shape it is as long as there's 3 equal parts. So whatever the number on the bottom is tells you how many equal parts there must be to each shape. So okay, I'm going to do a circle. That seems easy for me. And I need 3 equal sides. Okay, well, they're somewhat equal, right? I know I'm not the best at designing this. And then I'm going to start shading. And as I shade these parts, I need to keep drawing figures until I can shade up to 7. So I'm going to do this with, I wish I had a highlighter with me. Let me check and see. Give me 1 second. Should have been a little more prepared. Okay, here we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to recreate this figure exactly. I wish they're the same size. As you can see, I'm not very neat. Okay, now I got to keep going until I get to 7. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. I've done 6 so far. Okay, I got to keep going because I have to get at least up to 7. And now I have 1 more part to shade. And a common question is, which one of these do I need to shade? It doesn't matter. I could shade the right side, the left side, or the top. Doesn't matter. Now, I have shaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've shaded 7. And so this is an example that represents the improper fraction 7/3. We can also write it as an equivalent, which means equal in math, as an equivalent mixed number. I have 2 whole portions, and then I have this leftover portion. And I'm going to write this leftover portion as a proper fraction. I've shaded 1 part, and there's a total of 3. So 2 and 1/3. This improper fraction is equivalent to this mixed number.